Hi, I'm Bill Noble, member of Wollongong Golf Club, life member. I'd like to tell a story about Wollongong Golf Club. In 1897, Mr. Dobbin and Mr. Kent travelled in a train from Royal Sydney to Wollongong.
The club was formed by some prominent business people in the town. At the end of the 1800s, many immigrants from England and Great Britain had come out to Australia, and golf was starting. It was in the papers, and so prominent citizens of Wollongong thought that they might like to take the game up.
A couple of guys came down from Sydney and they had a look at the land south of Crown Street along the foreshore.
And they brought lawnmowers of what it was, they were mowers of those days, and size.
Rode their push bikes down to site and they had their tools and implements strapped to their bikes.
That's when they decided that they would cut a course of 9 holes at Wollongong Golf Club, which is Wollongong Golf Club now.
By horse and dray, dragging around pieces of timber behind horses, and lots of shovel work and lots of back work to get it into place.
Laid the course all the way along the dunes. Our final hole finished at what is now the 10th tee. That was the opening of the golf course itself.
They would have been so struck by the way that nature has carved out a golf course. Perfectly along the sand dunes, the ocean, the escarpment in the CBD would have been just the perfect site for links golf.
A number of meetings were held over 1897, but it wasn't until the 18th of January 1898 that a meeting was held with members, and it was chaired by the Mayor, Harry McCabe, and it was voted on there and then, and it was then put through to everybody to vote on. They voted on it, and that's how it was formed.
A very hearty vote of thanks was accorded Mr. Dobbin, Kent and Hoban for their kindness in coming down from Sydney, especially to lay the links. Mr. Stewart reported that the Secretary of the Sydney Royal Club had requested him to mention that members of the club would be very pleased to take any Wollongong golfers who might be in Sydney over their fine links at Bondi and assist them in learning the game. This offer was thankfully accepted.
You can put my name down for that.
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 You can put my name down.
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 Aaron, there was a phrase that was often used in the early days of the club.
It started out by members who wanted to play golf here, and somebody said, "Oh, I'm playing on Saturday. Oh, you can put my name down."
Evidently, it was well used among the members when there was a call for volunteers or when there was a call for assistance of some kind. I think more than one of the members would say, "You can put my name down."
Look, I think just back in the day, before electronic timesheets where you used to jump on your phone and put your name down for the week, everything was done on a piece of paper. So whether it was putting your name down for a clinic or for a lesson, or more often, putting your name down on the timesheet, you'd be speaking to your mate and you'd say, "Oh, do you want to play on Saturday?" And they'd say, "Yeah, absolutely, you can put my name down for that."
But it was actually more accurately to do with putting my name down for membership. And we struggled throughout most of our early years for members, and business people and other people would go and ask their friends.
A bloke by the name of McClellan, who was the first president, I believe, of the club, he came down and he tried to influence people from other sports to join the golf club to get a decent body of membership. He approached cricketers, tennis players.
Would you like to join Wollongong Golf Club? I think you'll enjoy yourself and I think you'll like the people down there. And the reply was, "You can put my name down."
The volunteering has been with this club ever since the club's been here.
This is a member-owned club, and it's the only member-owned club in the Illawarra. And what that means is that members have a strong vested interest in ensuring that the club remains and provides great hospitality and services and golfing. And to do that requires engagement of members and a culture that fosters good volunteering, and it attracts people that want to volunteer and help around the course.
It's their club. They've been here for 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. Their blood, sweat and tears is in this place.
No organisation, at a community level succeeds without volunteers.
I think it shows an appreciation of what we have, and also an understanding that none of this happens by accident.
The volunteers have been a big part of what we do. Basically been every Monday. They've been consistently coming in, giving us a hand.
Since I retired 17 years ago, I said, you can put my name down for that, I'll be in there, and I've been doing that for the past 17 years.
Whether that's small things or bigger things like the tournaments, marshalling, helping raking bunkers.
And I think it's important for people like me and other members to find a niche. I'd say to people, find a niche where you can help and make a contribution to the club.
We've got this ladies' championships coming up now. The amount of men and women that will go out there and volunteer on the course is unbelievable, and they're all members from this club.
I was somebody who's involved in running events a lot, that you cannot run events without that level of volunteers. In fact, the success of events is almost come off the back of volunteer input.
Just seeing the members come and help at the range, just pick up the golf ball when you know who it is, and it's great to see all the members come out and volunteer. It shows that it's such a good club and we all come together and support when there's a big event like this.
We've been coming in at 4:30 in the morning, and then we'll come in after the girls have been through, and we'll start our preparations. A big thank you to them and everyone else who's helped out as well.
Had 60 mils of rain. Play continued all day in rain. The worst conditions for spectators, for golfers and for volunteers. All volunteers turned up the following day and did not have anything bad to say about what they experienced that they were in, which is fantastic to see that they're dedicated.
They will come out at times when the course has been flooded and you're going, well, what are you doing here? And it's like, we've got Ronnie Davison, who one day I turned up here and we'd had a flood, and there he is at 85 or whatever in his wetsuit, rain gear and his hat on, and he said, Mark, I just love it here. And if it means I've got to get up at 6 in the morning and come down and help clean up so we can play golf this week, I'm up for it.
Really enjoy doing it. It's a good band of guys that come in, and we help the club, we help the green staff, and I'm sure over the years many things wouldn't be done without the local guys coming and pitching a hand.
Seeing ourselves as custodians for this property, that we will pass it on to generations who come after us, and we'll enjoy it while we're here. And I think it's important, the more that you volunteer and you see how things are done, it makes you more thoughtful.
As captain, I can tap someone on the shoulder and say, can you give me a hand? And I don't think I've ever been knocked back. Young or old, they'll give you a hand. So that's what volunteering is, and that's what Wollongong Golf Club is to me.
Perfect, thank you.
It's got to be the ocean.
The location that we've got is near the sea, near the mountains, near the city.
It's the unique piece of land that this course is on. It's visually spectacular.
It's a true links course. We rely on the course as it is, and we rely on wind. You get a westerly wind here, best of luck hitting the ball straight.
The setting of the course, and where you're right in the heart of Wollongong, you have the beach right next to the course. I went for a swim this morning, just nowhere you'd rather be.
Over 100 years on the original site. There are a large number of golf clubs who claim longevity, but not on the original site. So for us to still have a golf course that's viable and a pleasure to play and a test is extraordinary. I think that in itself makes it special.
To stand up on some of those tee boxes and look out across the ocean, it's spectacular, and I never get sick of it.
We're sitting here listening, and I'm looking at the ocean just behind you, Aaron, so it doesn't get any better than that.
People come here for the first time and they just can't believe that there's a golf course this close. I was speaking to Jen Stevenson during the Women's Open, and she was amazed at the site, the quality of the site and the proximity to the city. It was just fantastic.
The other thing that makes it stand out are its members and the characters and the people.
I think it's the people, the members. You come to Wollongong and you're always so welcome, encouraged. They're always excited for your upcoming events. And also the crew of juniors we've grown up with at Wollongong makes it extra special. You've got so many memories.
I'm now seeing and catching up with the same people that were members or that I grew up with playing, whether it's people I grew up with as a teenager or my father's friends who still all remember my name, who still always say hello. Sometimes they call me Frank and not Graham.
I think the social aspect is very important. I mean, people go through tough times and you're never alone when you're at the golf club. There's a whole swarm of people that gather around and everyone's very caring, and I've never had that anywhere else, I have to say. It's a very unique sort of thing.
It's culture, and culture's really, really fantastic here. Attracts a lot of the young guys now. There's lots and lots of young guys that are coming and being members.
I've spent thousands of days here, so has my family, and it's something that I guess we all bond over.
I was introduced to the club by my parents.
I just got sick of listening to Mum and Dad talking about golf all the time and thought, I've got to give this a go so I know what it's about.
I was introduced to the game through my father. We used to come down after work and have a hit.
I remember that very fondly about my early days playing golf with my father.
My mum and my dad were prominent players within Wollongong Golf Club when myself and my brother were born. And so we've got photographs of my brother and I in the pram while Mum was hitting practice balls down in the bottom paddock. We essentially grew up here.
I was introduced to Wollongong Golf Club through my dad. I have vague memories of caddying for him when I was perhaps 5 or 6 years of age. I wouldn't call it caddying. I think I rode on the back of his bag and buggy while he dragged me around the course. But and occasionally I'd duck off and hit a plastic ball with a little club, and that was my introduction here.
Nonna would take me and my two sisters out. She was really instrumental with us in the junior clinic.
Anna and Pop live across the road from here, so which is pretty helpful. And we got straight into junior clinics with Darius and Aaron.
Nonna was actually really instrumental with me and my sisters playing golf. Takes up a whole tell-off members who were hitting balls at us.
I was 5.
I was 6 and Axel was nearly turning 8. So we were quite young.
Grandma, Auntie Kay, Uncle Barry and Dad, Mum, they'd all come down, have a few beers, meet raffle.
I remember very clearly the day my handicap became lower than his. I remember not so much of it as me being excited, but I remember seeing the look on his face. And I'm sure that I had the same look when Jamie's handicap became lower than mine. But it's okay because I'm playing with him again this afternoon and I'm going to take his money.
I've written here, too many to mention.
Well, Aaron, my stories about the contribution that members have made, there's a lot of them.
John Bevan, he was an old member, just one of my father's mates. He used to fly around, he'd shark patrol, he'd throw flower bombs out of his plane onto the fairway, so obviously trying to G up some of his mates.
Teddy Tobin was probably the best person around here. If you were holding a function and all of a sudden the person who was supposed to be at the function doing something for you, he'd get up and entertain everybody.
One of our members, Neil Zoll, thought it'd be a good idea if we had some nice birds. Wollongong University had beautiful ponds and they had ducks and swans and lots of waterfowl and birds up there. So Neil went up one night and rustled 2 black swans from the Wollongong University and brought them down there and put them on the pond. And to our surprise, the next morning somebody said, oh, there's 2 swans flown in and taken up residence on our pond. But he wasn't good at sexing swans and he got 2 male swans. And so we never got any offspring.
Heck Mackay would often, in a quiet afternoon, He'd rummage through the bins around the first tee and pick out some old golf ball boxes, and you know, we'd watch Heck pick out several of these boxes, and Heck would go back in the shop and he'd have the second-hand balls that the divers would bring in, and he'd sort them out, you know, the cheap ones, the good ones, and the ones that didn't have any blemishes. I remember still vividly, I think I was about 7 or 8 years of age, watching Heck put the second-hand balls back in the reused ball boxes, back on the shelf as a brand new one.
Hector used to teach us how to make a driver. We'd pick up a piece of persimmon timber and we'd sit there and whittle it away and shape it into a head, and then put the shaft in, and we were making our own golf clubs back in the day.
Some of the characters that you play golf with, you'd be killing yourself laughing instead of hitting the golf ball. One person that comes to mind is Ivan Taylor, and he was an Englishman, one of the funniest blokes I've ever been with, but yeah, too many dimensions.
A lot of the history of Wollongong Golf Club was written down by John Murphy in his book, and the book was called You Can Put My Name Down, and it details the history of the club for the first 100 years.
Wollongong Golf Club has a rich history, as we know. We are very fortunate to have resources like this centennial book that was put together by John Murphy, You Can Put My Name Down, to be able to sit at Royal Sydney today, where some of our foundations were laid with Bob. Be quite a full circle moment.
John was a school teacher and a life member of many sporting organisations in the district, and as I said earlier, a wonderful member of this golf club.
Is that what the book's called? Yes. That sounds like Lynn wrote that. That's straight out of Lynn's from our tutoring. English tutoring.
Well, the building of the new clubhouse had its genesis in the decay of the old clubhouse.
Basically, the old clubhouse was falling down around us. Something had to be done, and there were a number of directors at the time who had the foresight.
The board at the time identified land down at Ross Street where Warrigal Care sits, to the Links Seaside sits today. People on the board at the time, and Bill Noble was one of the leading people, Paul Hogben and others, saw the chance for us to sell that land and use the funds to build a new clubhouse that was fit for purpose and for the 21st century.
The land where Warrigal is now, basically I don't think anything would have happened in the club if that land wasn't let go and sold off. At the time, I think we were sort of a bit of a battling club.
It had to happen because the old clubhouse was in a bad state of disrepair. You know, we could not have kept trading in that place. So expressions of interest were put out. Wide form constructions were the tender that won the company that won the tender.
When the decision was made that we sold the land and we were going to use the profits of that to build a new clubhouse, which would see us into the next century.
We couldn't sustain ourselves as just a golf club with golfers and selling schooners and playing on the poker machines.
Are you after a function centre that can cater for weddings, parties, conferences and special events? Wollongong Golf Club, right in the heart of CBD with ocean views, convenient accommodation and quality catering. Wollongong Golf Club, where golf is just the start.
This clubhouse came at a perfect time. You know, golf has been heavily steeped in tradition, as Wollongong Golf Club was. Golf clubs needed to change. Golf clubs needed to be much more relaxed. They needed to be much more family friendly. They need to be much more accepting of women playing the game.
The new clubhouse, well, it's not only is it a beautiful clubhouse sitting on a pristine piece of land on the beach, it's somewhere there where we're very proud to bring friends to and show. And generally when they come here, they're pretty awe-inspired by what they see too.
So the women have contributed to the club in many different ways.
Women generally over the course of my membership have contributed. In the early days it was, we just managed ourselves like we did at school canteen.
We take for granted today that the women of this club have their own committee with their own president and captain, and they basically run their own golfing affairs. They do marvellous work for raising money for charity.
They do everything from creating their year of golf, their fixtures, their timesheets, their competitions. They do a great deal of charity work with 3 events a year. They raise countless amounts of funds.
It was a 25-25 strategy. We wanted 25% female participation in golf at Wollongong Golf Club by 2025, and that was achieved.
Women belong to golf clubs for different reasons to men, but women need the companionship of other women. And some of our women that I play with regularly on a Thursday, they'll never learn. They'll never be able to play the game of golf with any degree of efficiency, but they belong here for reasons other than the golf.
Yeah, your buddy program has brought through a lot of players, and I think that's a really good idea to match them with someone who knows something about the club, because it's very intimidating when you first join a golf club. So this buddy system works really well, I think.
And the birdie category has been a real success to Wollongong, not just because it's a different priced model, but because it provides coaching, it provides training, it provides a collegial atmosphere for the players.
Supported women to get started in the game in a friendly, relaxed environment that's not intimidating.
In 2032, the women members of Wollongong Golf Club will celebrate a milestone, 100 years of having their own committee. Given the way society was at the time, I think we were ahead of our time.
The way the women run their golf, it's just fantastic. If you've ever been in any of their activities, they're all willing, they're all there, and they're all celebrating everybody's success and having fantastic days every time they do.
We did have a director, I won't mention his name, who would run down the first fairway and yell out, "Pull your socks up!"
I could have bought a great photo. I've got a fantastic photo of playing Eric Apley Shield for Wollongong Golf Club. We're all standing there with long socks, which always had to be pulled up. You couldn't let your long socks fall down. Shirts tucked in, but tucked in very tight. Shorts usually a bit higher than what they probably should have been.
Lots of old committee members quick to yell at you if you didn't have something absolutely spot on, so getting yelled at was pretty frequent.
You got a letter from a fairly zealous secretary manager if you regularly wore your socks down.
Some of those dresses that these ladies were wearing, they were basically covering their ankles.
Tartan was a big feature of golf attire.
Skirts, but they had to be a certain level, not too far above the knee, tucked in.
Equipment-wise, my first clubs had a wooden forward that my dad had cut down. To make it lighter, he took what was the old brass sole plate off the bottom. Kilnagel or Jack Nicklaus blade irons that were cut down. The heads were almost smaller than the golf balls, so they were pretty hard to hit.
Wooden-headed clubs and small ball, and I'm not sure that the players of today could play with that equipment as well as they play with the technology enhanced.
So it's great that the club's been able to move with the times, I guess, be far more accepting of people playing golf socially. I think it just makes for a much more relaxed and enjoyable game of golf, but also a much more relaxed and enjoyable golf club.
It's not uncommon here to have 3 generations of family, probably heading towards 4 in some cases now with the ageing population.
The Gearans, which go back quite a while, they're 3 or 4 generations. There's the Townsends.
In the early days there were the Brandons. Mrs. Brandon owned a cake shop up in Wollongong.
There's the Webbs. My own family, we go 3.
Obviously the Mackays are probably the most prominent family. And the other prominent family, I guess, would be the Gearans.
One that comes to mind before anything is the Gearans.
Grandma, so Norma Kelly originally turned into Norma Gearan. She was probably the best lady golfer of our family. Sorry, Auntie Kay for that, but it's the truth.
Yeah, well, I've grown up alongside the Webbs. Richard Webb, he was the manager of our Eric Apley team, of our junior pennant team. His son, David and Stephen, I grew up playing with them, still play golf with Stephen now. The Townsends, Alison Townsend's married Stephen Webb.
Obviously, the Townsends and the Webbs, they have Lynn's won uncountable amount of championships here, and and Lynn's daughter Alison, married to Steve Webb, they've both won plenty of championships and their kids both play here now.
I think having family members as part of the club helps you to feel more comfortable when getting started. My grandfather was very supportive in myself and my brother getting started in the game.
Our family, the Webb family, my dad has been a member I think approximately 60 years now. I married Alison Townsend family, multiple generations back to her grandparents, Tom and Aileen, who have fond memories of playing golf with them.
About the holes in one. My dad was the first one. He's long gone. He's been gone for 12 years now, but he had one in his mid-70s. I was playing with him at the time on the 17th. And then after he passed away, Mum, when she was 80, legally blind, she had one on the 17th, which she didn't see go in the hole. And then about 4 years ago, my husband had one on the 17th. So I was the only family member who hadn't had one. And then 18 months ago, I had one on the 17th as well. So I'm all fine now.
And I think that the opportunity to be able to play a game of golf with your grandmother and your mother, it's something that you don't see in many other sports, if any.
And certainly in our junior development programs, it's the grandparents that are generally bringing the children down to start that journey.
So the intergenerational members have been a great atmosphere to Wollongong Golf Club. You see a few of them, you might see 5 of them, you might see 10 of them all on the timesheet at once.
If you come here on a Saturday afternoon,
You only see Thompsons.
you'll see a lot
on the
of Thompsons.
timesheets. Just Thompson, Thompson. Next on the tee, Thompson, Thompson, Thompson.
They'll all come back in the clubhouse and have a drink or something to eat, maybe dinner upstairs. It's a place for them to play their golf, spend more time as a family.
It's not just about playing golf. It's around lifetime friendships. It's around the support that those people of all of those generations provide you.
It's all my friendships now, really. That's, all friends that I've made through golf are the people that I see all the time and spend the most time with. Yeah, I don't know what I'd do without all my golf buddies. It's pretty special.
And whether it's Jamie's mates who I'm now playing golf with on a regular basis, they're letting the old fella come along and play with them. And I think it's not only the old guys supporting the younger ones, sometimes it's the younger ones supporting the older guys. And I'm loving that. It's actually breathed a new lease of life into my golf, new bit of excitement. I get to play golf with my son. It doesn't get much better.
It's pretty cool. It's like you've grown up on this golf course and it's like you've got so many memories.
The 3 most prominent golfers on the honour board downstairs would be, other than Noel Wade, would be Rory Slade, Lynn Townsend and Keith Pepper.
Noel Wade early on, Chris Barrett, Rory Slade, Lynn Townsend.
There's a lot of big names up there that have gone on to pretty good success. Dad always talking, he always said Noel Wade was probably the best golfer to come out of Wollongong.
Obviously Rory Slade, he's on the boards 32 times. That's not including mixed foursomes, but he's won the four big championships in the club championships.
Yeah, obviously Rory, and to finally get on, to beat him eventually, probably meant more than the actual getting my name on the board. Was actually I beat Rory.
People who I actually know would be Steve Webb, is the next highest there. Great player, ex-professional. Yeah, someone who I really look up to and who's taken me under his wing and showed me a lot. And I would not be the player I am without him helping me out.
What those names do reflect is long-term membership. The repetition of the names means that members have played here, become really proficient, and then they've stayed. So I think that's important too. And you see generation names as well. So you see fathers and sons and mothers and daughters in my case.
So the honour boards, to me, are occupied by Lynn Townsend, which has got a run of events down there that she's been able to win. There is one small name that sits in the middle of Lynn's run of club championships, which is her daughter, Alison.
20 was good. And then when I got to 24, I thought, I don't know more. And then the younger players, including you, got in a weight.
I'm very proud, former club champion here across 4 decades, and there's 24 of those and 8 South Coast Championships. Probably the achievement I've been most proud of was that I won the New South Wales State Championship in 2008.
But we had some amazing golfers that were here that probably would have turned pro in the past, in this present day. People like a Rory Slade, who was probably the leading amateur in the state for a good 30 or 40 years. People like Chris Barrett, who's still playing very good golf. But again, probably these days probably would have turned professional.
Now we've got a new breed of kids coming through with Sam Cassio, Lara and Mimi Thompson.
I think now we've sort of come to another era in women's golf. We've got the 2 Thompson girls, Lara and Mimi. They've shared club championships here and over the last probably 8 or 9 years.
It's become a little bit of a home away from home, to be honest, for a lot of people.
The days of golf clubs being insular and private places where only the members get to enjoy it, as I said earlier, we're privileged to play golf on this site.
The community of not just golfers, but all their associated families, etc., use this as their hub in many ways.
Ensure that we're going to be here for quite a long time to come into the future. We need to engage with the community even more. We need to make ourselves part of the Wollongong community and the Illawarra community.
We've just been a part of the Man Walk, which is a men's mental health charity, which has been a fantastic initiative, and we've been supported by our members that have come and now been introduced to the Man Walk.
Just enmeshes us back into that community and keeps us as part of the fabric of sport. That is very important to me and to the club.
There's an awful lot of money raised for charity. And again, I think the women are very, very good at that. I think we raised over 20,000 last year.
We have 3 standard charity days now. Breast Cancer Day, we've always had, but that goes to the local breast cancer carers.
Legacy and also Alzheimer's. And the women fundraise generously to support these organisations in our community. We all dress in the same colour, and it really is a celebration of women in golf, but also that connection to community as well.
Golf clubs, I guess, across the state, across the nation, become a bit of a community hub. And I think that, this is certainly one of those. It's a place to come and have a game of golf. It's also a place to come and have a drink. But similarly, the golf club also gives back in return. It's certainly a part of the community. It's not just a golf club. It's in a great spot. It's in a great spot financially.
I think the club, from a business perspective, is very well placed.
We've got multiple assets now which we can continue to generate income around the clock for the club.
And the accommodation has been absolutely fantastic for us. It's been the backbone of our revenue for quite some time. Plus the activities, there's so much activities with members, activations like Captain Shout, President's Dinner, Champions Day, those things just where you can see the evidence of the club culture.
It's great to see that we're now looking at doing work on the golf course, because the golf club itself, it won't have the stature that it currently does as being the #1 golf club on the South Coast, unless the golf course continues to maintain its status, its presence, and its capacity to call itself that #1 golf club.
Wollongong Golf Club has been fortunate to host the 2009, 10, 11 New South Wales PGA. We were also able to host the Jack Newton Junior Golf State Age Championships. We've been able to host the Australian Junior Amateur. We've also been able to host the New South Wales Mid Amateur, the Senior Amateur.
One that comes to mind straight away is the Wills Championships. We had players like Von Nyder, Gary Player, played here in the competition.
Multiple New South Wales PGA Championships. And you talk about what impact those events might have on people coming through the ranks. Well, I remember the winner walked, Matt Guyett, I think it was, walked off the back of the 18th green and gave my son Jamie a golf ball. Jamie didn't even play golf or know anything about it back then, but those sort of little things I think have an impact on what people do into their future.
First and second New South Wales PGA, they were really big, and then more recently last year's New South Wales Ladies Open. It's probably a bit higher calibre of what we had done in the past.
It's a ladies European toured sanction event. That's the biggest event the club's hosted. We've successfully hosted in 2025 and 2026.
Wonderful opportunity for us to be able to see our club on TV and to have Wollongong put on the golfing map.
Yeah, it's very special seeing all familiar faces when you're walking the fairways. I think it's definitely biggest events that we've ever played.
And it just shows you what this golf club is capable of.
Without juniors, us old blokes are going to be not playing golf one day, and you need to replace the stock of golfers and replace the membership. And the membership is in you. The future of your membership is in your youth.
Wollongong Golf Club has had a large junior program running for approximately the last 10 years. It's ran previous to that, although I've been able to see it come from 10 junior members to where it is today at about 160 juniors.
And we've had a benefactor who's put a lot of money into junior development.
Through that funding, we've been able to put weekly sessions on. For the last 10 years, we've been able to do after-school golf classes.
There wouldn't be another club, I don't think, in regional New South Wales that would have that many juniors.
Growing up as a junior girl here, there wasn't a lot of opportunities for junior girls golf. So I did play pennants in sub-junior pennants with the boys. Whilst I was very much embraced by the rest of my teammates, not necessarily so by the person who I had to play at the club that we travelled to. Nobody wanted to play against the girl who had pink head covers. There's so many more opportunities now for junior girls to play against their peers and to really have the same opportunities as junior boys do.
Amazing golfers here, especially Lynn Townsend, even Colleen Bell, who have, ever since we came to the club and playing club champs, they've supported us all the way through.
Coming to the golf club and seeing Lynn, Chris and all those people, they've got so much experience, and you can just, the way they like help you out and support you is just so great.
Go Lynn. Lynn's the best.
I started here with Dyrus Gear, and Paul Fenton sponsored the junior program, and Dyrus and Aaron Keevers. I think that was they've done really well starting off the junior program, and it's just gone into big things and got plenty of juniors at the club now.
We were part of that pro shop. It was almost a second home. It was almost where the juniors hung out, and it was great that the Golf Pro was able to devote so much of their time in supporting them, going out and playing with them. You know, every Friday afternoon, all the kids would come down here at 4 o'clock, and we go and play 9 holes with Rob.
Got up to some antics in the old pro shop as well. One of the things that stands out in my memory is converting the storage shed at the back of the pro shop into a track where some juniors would ride the motorbikes around in like in a circle, like a track, a race track.
Once again, that flow, that dynasty of people in the one family making a telling contribution to Wollongong Golf Club. Now that flow and that contribution is now being taken up by the Thompson family.
A good group of juniors who have grown up here ever since we were younger, and we've all come to high levels with our golf, and all big thanks to Wollongong Golf Club and the just amazing program they have here.
The story of pennant golf at Wollongong Golf Club is an interesting one. We, for many years back in the 50s and 60s, we pretty much dominated the district pennants.
We needed to have people that wanted to be there for the right reasons, wanted to value their selection, but that has led to great success.
In 2023, 4 and 5, we won the pennant all 3 years in a row for the first time in the club's history, which was obviously unreal. And winning the last pennant we won in 2025 was especially cool because we were major underdogs. That was the highlight of all the pennants that I've represented in, winning that final, especially considering that I thought we had no shot the morning of.
A modern example of that pride is the chat group. We call it Caddy Shack.
The group chat. I was the first one of the group chat, or the second one. So we started with pennant a few years ago. Jack Regan, our pennant manager, wanted a way that we could communicate how the scores were going between the other caddies. So it was me and a few other members, only 3 members on there. And then we just started adding more and more people so they could see the pennant results that we were adding as caddies.
Every weekend, during the week, listening out or watching out for pennant results or game results. We're all keen and eager to see how everyone's going.
And now there'd be at least 80 people on there now if they all follow, and yeah, it's pretty intense.
I think that's a modern digital way that we're showing that pride every week.
You know, I think that team spirit is good, and that's same with volunteers. They work as a team, and I think that's the culture we're after.
It's just a wonderful club, and it's a wonderful history, and hopefully this is going to show them what the club's all about.
We're one of the few that has a lengthy documented history, the old honour boards, the book written by John Murphy.
I think it's important to tell the club story so that people aren't forgotten and stories aren't forgotten, they're passed down, and because they're cool stories and cool things to know.
If we don't have a sense of ourself, if we don't carry within us the value of our membership, and this is a great organisation to be affiliated with, then you can't expect other people to somehow conceive of that. I think we have to carry ourselves in such a way that we believe that this is the premier club, and it is.
We've got such a great history at Wollongong Golf Club, 1897 to now. There's been so much that's happened between the golf course, the clubhouse, through different leaderships, and we've got a great story to tell. It's not just work sometimes for me, it's actually the place that I call home. So it's a fantastic club, and it does mean a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to the members.
We celebrate our history, we celebrate 1897 in many ways and in every way that we can. And I think that there's always the opportunity to look back and look at how far we've come.
As the industry has changed, as the sport has changed, we've changed with it and evolved into something quite outstanding.
Always brag about Wollongong Golf Club whenever I play anywhere else. Yeah, especially seeing as we've had some really big tournaments over the last few years, which gets to showcase our beautiful golf course here.
The history for me is around the people. It's around, I guess, some of the stories, how the golf club has shaped me, how the golf club's shaped my father, how the golf club's shaping my son.
I'm honoured to be able to do this. I think Wollongong Golf Club is outstanding. It's one of the leading venues in Illawarra, and it's just a great place to be.
To me, it means everything to me. It really does. It is my club.